What's up and happy 2023. Thank you for joining me, Kaniki, here on Check With Opinions. So everybody, it's the beginning of the year and we're getting our New Year's resolutions. So I decided to, I'm not going to be left out. I'm going to get my New Year's resolution on too. And after pondering just a little bit, I decided what's going to make a better me in 2023. And I came up with several things, but I'm going to give you my top 3. And the first one is, and you've heard it before, give zero. Well, you know what? This is going to be a classy show. So we're not going to give zero anythings. We're going to, what are we going to do? You know what? We're going to ignore the chatter. We're going to ignore the chatter. And why? Oh, you know what? We're going to ignore the chatter of folk who don't matter. Yes, ignore the chatter of folk who don't matter. I'm a poet, and I know it, and I know it. Ignore the chatter of folk who don't matter. Yes. So we're going to do this in 2023. What do you mean by this, Kaniki? I'm going to tell you what I mean. We go through life worrying about how people perceive us, who's looking, who's not looking. And let me back up, because it is good to have a healthy awareness of how people perceive you. You don't want to go through life and be the person who thinks they too cool for school. And when actuality, everybody's like, they such a jerk. You don't want to be that person. So it is good to have an understanding of how people perceive you, but don't let it debilitate you. Don't let it hinder you from going after your goals. And that's what we tend to do. We have that debilitating caring about what people think of us. And so we don't follow our dreams. We don't take that next step because we're scared. And so, you know what? Something just came to my mind. Somebody today is about to be delivered. Somebody, this is a word for somebody who's listening to this. This is going to manifest in your soul and make you take that step forward. So in 2023, come close. In 2023, do you, boo? Yes, do you, boo. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're not sleeping with somebody, man, woman, both. As long as you're not doing anything crazy, do you, boo. Stop worrying about, am I good enough? Yes, you are. You were wonderfully created. There are no coincidences. There are no accidents. You were made intentionally and with a purpose. Oh, they might not like me. Well, guess what? Like my mama used to always say, if somebody doesn't like you, that's on them. It has nothing to do with you. And you have to internalize that. You have to know that you have a purpose and you can't care what other people think. You're not gonna be on your deathbed talking about, oh, that person didn't like me. You don't want to leave this earth with regrets. So do you, boo, and ignore the chatter of folk who don't matter. That's a word for somebody. That's a word for somebody. How do you do that, you might ask? Well, one of the first things you can do to ignore the chatter is get control of your mind. You need to meditate and pray or pray. That's what you need to do. Because when you meditate and pray, it really gets you to take control of your thoughts so you're not all over the place. Basically, what happens is that sometimes your conscious mind can take control of your subconscious mind. Have you ever had a day when just everything just went awry? Or maybe, just a day when there was just some chaos. You woke up, your car wouldn't start, you're late from work, you didn't eat breakfast. It was just a mess. You come home and you can't wind down because you didn't get everything accomplished and your mind is going, you go to bed, you sleep horribly, having bad dreams. Well, that's what I'm talking about when we have to take control. And by taking control of our conscious mind, we can take control of our subconscious mind. And what I want you to do is just steal away just a few minutes and be still. You like what I did there? Steal away, STEAL, and be still. We're going to steal some time to be still. That's a word for somebody. Catch it. You better catch it. And this is going to allow us to take control of our minds. I am a type A person, and this is something that's difficult for me. It's difficult for me to sit still because I'm always trying to figure out what my next steps are. I'm always trying to figure out what my next plan of action. But we need to be able to calm ourselves. We need to be able to recalibrate. I set my stopwatch the other day for 10 minutes because that's my goal. My goal is to be able to meditate for 10 minutes. So I decided, let me see, let me set it for 10 minutes, see where I fall. And all I did was breath exercises. Literally, it's easy. It's actually beneficial. There have been studies that show that taking time to breathe correctly actually increases your overall health if you do it on a regular basis. So just meditate. Listen to your breath. Breathe into your nose, out through your mouth. Do it slowly. And you'll feel the release. You'll feel the stress just kind of melt away. I'm telling you, I was so surprised when my alarm went off 10 minutes later. I was like, oh my God, I meditated for 10 minutes. Yeah, there were a couple of times maybe my mind drifted, but I got it back on track and I listened to my breath. What this does, like I said earlier, it allows you to recalibrate because up until this point, up until your mind is clear, a lot of times your dreams are they're just abstract concepts. When you meditate, it clears your mind to receive what your intention is in life. It clears your mind to really kind of think through where you are, where you want to be, and how to get there when you meditate. And it's going to spill over into your subconscious. It's going to give you better rest, which is going to overall give you what's going to be in my next segment. So stay tuned. Not to get ahead of myself. So yeah, meditate. And when your purpose in life comes to you, write it down. That's going to activate your plan of action. It's easier to walk towards your goals when you have them written down because it just moves you forward. So meditate. And sometimes another good thing with meditation is it's not even the outside noise sometimes. It's your internal dialogue with yourself. We go through life feeding into and believing all the outside noise. We believe it. We eat it up. And so we then internalize it. So we have to block out all that negativity. We have to get back to believing in ourselves. We have to speak over our life. Words have life. So if you are always having a negative internal dialogue with yourself, then that's what's going to manifest in your life. So start speaking life into yourself. You remember the movie The Help, and everybody made fun of it. You is good. You is kind. You is important. Well, that's true. You have to have that internal dialogue with yourself. It really should start from when you're little. The people around you, the adults around you should pour that into you so that you won't be an adult trying to figure this stuff out. But if you are, that's cool. That's cool. Because we're going to figure it out. You is good. You is kind. You is important. Speak life. Nobody says it better than Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. Encourage yourself. Speak over yourself. Speak life into your life. And you do this by taking control of your mind through meditation and prayer. So that's the second thing that's going to make a better me in 2023. And the final thing should have been my first thing, is exercise. Because without health, good health, all the rest of it doesn't matter. If you don't have good health and you're laid up in a hospital room or whatever the case may be, everything I said previous doesn't really matter. And don't get me wrong, I believe in loving the skin you're in. Hey, I'm a fluffy girl, so love the skin you're in, but know your numbers. Know your glucose number. Know your BMI. Know your cholesterol levels. Know your blood pressure. Know your numbers, because it's good to love the skin you're in, but if those numbers are off, you need to reduce that skin. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat my words. Exercise. Take 30 minutes a day just to get your heart rate going. Take 30 minutes a day. We all have 30 minutes. We all are on social media probably 30 minutes a day. Take 30 minutes a day to exercise. And another thing, get your yearly exams. Get your yearly physical. Get your prostate exam, your mammograms, your colonoscopies, whatever it is. We sometimes don't do it because we're scared of a diagnosis. And that's understandable. But don't you know that without a diagnosis, there is no help? Without a diagnosis, there's no treatment. There's no treatment. So it's better to get a diagnosis early on than to get a diagnosis at stage 4. Go to the doctor. And before you even get to the doctor, exercise. Because exercising adequately can keep you out of the doctor's office. So, in closing, I just want to thank you again for joining me and helping to make a better me in 2023. And how I'm going to do it? Well, there's a lot of things that I'm going to do. But the top 3 are: ignore the chatter of folk who just don't matter, meditation and prayer, and exercising. Thank you for joining me, Kaniki, here on Chick with Opinions. Remember, it's not an attitude, it's a movement. See you next time. Peace. Ooh.